Hello, how are you doing? Are you okay? Did you sort that thing out we spoke about last time? How about that rash? Did the cream clear that up or... Anyway, hey listen, it's 2016! Happy New Year! This is my New Year's video, the first of 2016, and what I really wanted to mark is the passing of 2015. May she rest in peace. Because 2015 was quite a significant year for me. I went from being an avid BF4 player to an avid BF4 photographer, if you will, and the cinematic tools significantly altered my internet existence from a mere spectator to that of an active participant. With night maps, streaming Easter egg hunts, dice friend, dog tags, booming YouTube thumbnail business, and so on. More importantly, I've made many new friends, some of which I've had the chance to meet in person a couple of times now, and these are good people I consider lucky to be able to spend time around, be it face-to-face or on something like TeamSpeak. I also discovered Counter-Strike, some of which you're seeing in the background now, just some public deathmatch tomfoolery. My performances in competitive matchmaking are still frustratingly inconsistent, which is one of the reasons I've not followed up with another dedicated CSGO progress video, amongst other Shadowplay related issues I've also had. And I'm now creeping up on 2,000 followers on Twitter, so I thought this would also be a good opportunity to try a Q&A type video. And so I turned to my Twitter peeps, and these are some of the questions that sprung forth. FaZe asks, have you ever thought of creating concept art from scratch? Not recently. I don't think I have the imagination or time for that sort of thing. Usually the Shadow 6 logo I use for some streams and before most videos is a from scratch composition, and I've played with a couple of short video sequences years ago, but nothing recently. X Factor asks, how do you express your emotions while shooting? Usually a series of alarming and confused sounds. And so forth. Tainted Gamer asks, why did you go into flying helicopters? Was it Arnold in Predator? No, it was Stringfellow Hawk in Airwolf. Of course. Captain Excellent asks, what's your plan for the zombie apocalypse? I will probably attempt to steal a helicopter from work, fill it with fuel, fly to the nearest safe zone with my family, or Jack Frags. I haven't decided which yet. Danny on PC asks, how is it to be in Burdu's shadow? Favourite car and something about a club and a helicopter. I enjoy Burdu's shadow immensely. It's surprisingly warm. I had tried to overthrow his dominant screenshotting position while he was away in New Zealand a while ago, but he did unfortunately come back a few weeks later. David asks, what was the first Battlefield game you played? First BF game I played was 1942, and I played a hell of a lot of the Desert Combat mod. I loved that game. Solar Gaming asked, is there going to be a new game mode? Yes. FaZe asks, will you have a baby with me? No. Kezbrot asks, did you learn how to use the cinematic tools by yourself? Essentially, yes. I think I probably followed existing tutorials at the time for basic initial setup and running the thing with BF4. But from there on, it was just a case of experimenting with all of the features, and that's definitely the best way to learn everything in the Environments tab particularly. It really helps to see what's going on with the changes you're making to values, rather than just having someone try and describe what something does. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Schleppten asks, would you rather have a lightsaber but not be able to use the Force, or be able to use the Force but not have a lightsaber? This was an easy one, to be honest. It's Force all the way. I can control people with my mind! GamerMad asks, will there be another Battle Picks competition? Goodness, yes, I hope so. This is one of my main problems. I come up with these ideas for what I consider to be cool things to do community-wise, and then get too easily distracted by something else. It was quite time-consuming, and working with Burdu is always a difficult process, obviously. But yes, I hope we'll run another one. Aka, aka Art, asks, what's the best looking game you've played and the best game you've played? Well, I think the best looking games tend to be the most recent, don't they, in terms of graphical fidelity anyway. Battlefront is a stunning looking game, probably the most visually impressive I've had a chance to play. I think BF5 will look incredible, so I can't wait to see that. And turn all the maps into night maps, obviously. Best game, well, that's harder. The game I'm currently most invested in is CSGO. I've played a fair number of hours now and it keeps pulling me back for more, and even after a really bad run of performances, no other game drives me to be better and I think some of the skills in the competitive matchmaking when you get to the higher ranks are still a long way out of reach for me, and that's what pushes me forward. Wouter asks, what kind of work do you do with helicopters? Is it work or hobby? Well, I wish it was my hobby, let me tell you. If I could afford to do that, it certainly would be a hobby, but no, this is my day job. I work for a company that provides offshore platform support in oil and gas. Iniquity asks, where did the name come from? I think I first used the name Shadow 6 when I was playing Soldier of Fortune. Anyone remember that game? I tended to be a sneaky sniper, and I guess the idea of moving around in the shadows was what I wanted to associate with, and I guess the number made it sound somewhat militarized or something. 6 was obviously the number I chose. President Slendy and Dissector both asking about the sexiest/best screenshot. From my point of view, my favourite is probably the Hitman shot. This is the one I spent a great deal of time on. I spent a great deal of time on all of them, really, but there's a number of reasons why this one is my favourite. Firstly, it's a custom pose, so it's quite unique in that respect. I've not seen any other battle shots replicating the classic Hitman pose with the dual silenced pistols. I love the background from this Metro wall, which takes on a pleasingly soft but gritty red texture, being slightly out of focus, and the quality of the model textures really help as well. From the Russian recon clothing, cap and gloves, etc., to the beautifully modelled 1911 and attached silencers. There's a sped up video taken from the Twitch stream during which this image was created somewhere on my YouTube channel. If I remember, I'll link that in the description below. Teddy says, show us your PC setup. Well, that is it's probably not worth seeing, to be honest. Maybe I'll do a separate video on it, but the whole thing is kind of a mess and just not something that's worth showing off, to be honest. I have an i7 4770, 3.4 gigahertz, a GTX 980 for graphics, 32GB RAM, two 27-inch 1440p monitors currently. One I use for image editing because it's got better colour reproduction, and I game on the 144Hz ROG Swift PG278Q. Damo Brown asks, first video game played, and first with 100 hours or more. Well, first video game was probably something on the Commodore 64, assuming I'd actually managed to load the 1 hour cassette tape without some sort of error. I couldn't tell you which game though. I think the first game I put serious hours into was one I mentioned earlier, Soldier of Fortune and Soldier of Fortune 2. I played a lot of those. That's it, guys, I think. I'm sorry if I missed some questions there. I think I answered most. Thank you for submitting them though. Hopefully I can do this again sometime down the line. If you're on Twitter and you're not currently following me, that's probably where I'm most active. Again, I'll leave a link in the description below, so come say hi. For now though, I wish you a very happy new year. All the best for 2016. Let's see where it takes us, eh? Goodbye!